Welcome to the SuperCaZt live game time. This is
What's
where it's
up?
at. We're going to show you guys a few trailers before we get going with our main event here. So bear with us as we load that up. We'll start off with SuperCaZt's game for the night.
Oh boy, here we go.
We are very cinematic.
How did you
looking.
two come into this?
Mr. Drake.
You gonna plunder a few temples, loot the museum?
That's just a little historical research.
Christ almighty.
Pretty rough. Like that look.
The client
Yeah.
is willing to part with a huge sum of cash if we acquire a certain object.
They called it the wish-fulfilling jewel.
That's gotta be worth millions.
Hundreds of millions.
Hang on a minute. Easier said than done.
This is fake.
It's a forgery.
You've been played.
Honor among thieves, huh?
I'm a good businessman. You're a pirate. We're gonna snatch that treasure right out from
That's
us.
a great
They
line.
got us all
I
killed.
know.
Come on.
You in then?
What the hell? I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Oh yeah. Strong question there, Drake.
Man.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is, if you couldn't tell already, the Uncharted series. I'm a huge, huge fan of the Uncharted series. And yeah, you want to show your trailer? You want to go ahead and just
I guess I will then. But go ahead and give us a little sneak peek while we're talking about it.
yeah, man. So it's just it's a game series that came out early 2000s, I guess. 2004, 2005, I believe its first game, and it ended up being a trilogy. And then they, of course, released the fourth one. I should be more prepared than this, but I think about 5 years ago, the last one came out. And I've played all of them at this point, and I love all of them. But my two favorites are easily 2 and 4. I think 2 and 4 have the best stories. I think 2 and 4 just are just the best games, period. Yeah.
Sort of like a Star Trek thing. They say the
Yeah.
even ones are good, the odd ones are bad.
Right. And that's the
18.
thing. Like, oh, here we go.
West Old.
I'll cut you off.
No, you're fine. So the first one is, there's not much to it. You go and you're tracking down El Dorado, and it's a fun game. Don't get me wrong. I think all of them are fun at the very least. The story's a little weak on this one, but I love Nathan Drake. I love the character of Nathan Drake, and he's played excellently by, of course, Nolan North, who voices another character that I've become really close to. Excuse me. And that's in the Assassin's Creed series, but we'll talk about that at a later date, not today. Also, big fan of that series though. But I just love Nolan North as Nathan Drake. Like, you just want to hang out with the guy. He's got these one-liners. He's kind of smooth, but he's not like James Bond smooth. So he tries to think he is, and then he'll like fall down a mountain or something, and just barely survive.
Yeah.
There's some falls no human would survive. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
That's why it's a video game, but I guess
exactly.
that's a good teaser. We'll get into mine real fast. Just
Yeah,
the
man, let's
teaser,
go.
teaser trailer. This is for Sleeping Dogs.
New. It's one of the most vibrant cities in the world. It also hides a powerful and dangerous criminal organization, the Triads. Operating in the
fierce.
shadows, they control nearly everything. You get to play undercover cop Wei Shen. His mission? Infiltrate the Sun On Yi and bring them down. Wei's loyalties will be tested to the limit, torn by the Triad's code of honor and his duty to the badge.
We have your friend, so listen very carefully.
He is trapped in a spiral of deceit and paranoia.
How'd you think this was gonna go down? Whatever it takes, you remember that?
To make a name for himself in the Triads, Wei will need to shoot, maim, and even kill to follow the orders of those above him.
We gotta prove ourselves to Winston and the Sun On Yi, or we'll never
That's
move
rough.
on.
Wei Shen is an expert martial artist, which allows you to take on and counter enemies of various skills and sizes. With the most advanced fighting system in any open-world game, push your combat skills to a new level.
Oh, yeah.
Use the environment to get the job done with style. For extra impact, use objects as you would in a real street fight.
There we go.
Sly enemies sometimes escape. Jump, slide, and dodge obstacles to catch them.
Yeah, it's sort of Jackie Chan-ish there.
Disarm
I see that,
opponents
yeah,
and
yeah.
use their weapons against them. Take cover from enemy fire and, when the time is right, vault out of hiding to trigger slow motion. Masterful gun control is also important when you're behind the wheel. Dispatch
Obviously.
enemy triads on a fiery ride around town as your allies drive. Wei has his pick of vehicles, and whatever he wants, he takes. Choose from over 65 different vehicles.
That's awesome.
No gun, no problem. Just ram your enemies off the road.
What I do?
Now time to assess your skill level in Kung Fu.
To survive in the hard world of cops and triads, Wei will have to toughen up his skills.
Yeah, this is the best part.
Earn money to purchase items, outfits, and vehicles. Items in some outfits provide vital buffs to your character stats. Use your Triad connections to help ongoing police investigations.
We just found 3 new bodies under the Aberdeen Bridge.
Burn rubber in many of the underground street races, and perform Triad favors to unlock new buffs and moves.
That's probably a good place to stop.
Very nice, man. I think you can
Yeah.
teach Drake a few moves there, man.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I'm
It
looking
looks
forward
like
to talking about it.
Yeah.
It's one I played. Actually, I started it a few years ago, but then I beat it
Mhm.
at the beginning of our COVID lockdown time,
Cool.
and just had a lot of fun with it. So I'm interested in talking about it. But I guess we first start off before we get into our main events, our reviews.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about what you're playing right now. Any good games?
Well, I've been getting into the Assassin's Creed games, as I said. I finished the second one last night. It's pretty good. Now I'm on the third one, where you're in the Revolutionary War, the American Revolution, to be more specific. And it's a lot of fun. You get a lot of interesting weapons in that time period, as you can imagine.
I guess so.
So, and again, it's just really immersive. The stories are very immersive as far as those Assassin's Creed games, though. I don't know if you had any experience with those games.
Oh yeah, I played the first 4. I mean,
Okay.
I think I'm actually the one that gave you like 2 of them. I think.
I
or-
think you are, man. You
Yeah.
got a favorite? You got a one you like the best?
I'm probably with you. I like the third one the best. The second one's a lot of fun though, just because it's
Yep.
the Renaissance. I like
Yep.
that atmosphere, hanging out with
Mhm.
Leonardo da Vinci and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yep. And just becoming an assassin, I mean, with the cloak and everything, that shit
Mhm.
looks so cool. So that's what I've been playing lately. How about you, man?
Well, I just got a new game this week.
Mhm.
It was supposed to come in last weekend, but FedEx
Didn't
they're
work
not
out.
fun. Yeah,
Yep.
so I got NBA 2K23,
Ooh, nice.
and I paid the big bucks. I got the championship edition.
All right.
And the reason why is not only just because of this cool Jordan cover and the slip cover, it's because what's inside here
Uh-oh.
is a very cool code. Yes, it's a great game.
Yeah.
I actually played it the first time last night, and I like the improvements they've made as far as dribbling, and
Mhm.
I think it's better AI as far as like your teammates seem like they're more reactive, you
Right.
know, less stupid stuff. Even though I do have one complaint, I'll get into in a sec.
Okay.
But here's the main reason I got it.
Mm-hmm.
NBA League 2 Pass. Oh, I better not show that code. Hopefully everybody saw that. NBA 2K League Pass. It's
Yeah.
I get to watch all the games now, so that's pretty sweet.
Sweet, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm very excited. I hope I didn't show that code. Luckily,
I didn't see it, man.
Yeah, that's good. I flashed it up there for half a sec. Nobody paused that. I'm gonna go get that code right now.
No. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, but that's the main reason I did it. It's just 'cause I want to watch all the games, but also
Yeah.
it's a cool game.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have one mistake thing I didn't like, and this is
Okay.
something I always normally I play as like the coach and I do my own substitutions and stuff, but last night I didn't. I was trying to do like more arcade style.
Yeah.
Turns out Emi Udoka on the game is an idiot. Like like he did the worst substitutions. I nearly lost the game because I'm like, why aren't you throwing out Malcolm Brogdon out there? Why are you playing Peyton Pritchard instead of Malcolm Brogdon? I was getting so mad. And he would always substitute 2 big men for 2 big men. I'm like, what are you doing?
Dude, you're gonna have to tell me if Jabari Parker what his rating is on that game, because I'm curious.
Jabari Parker's not even on the team anymore.
He's not?
No, they kicked him off the team last year.
No, not Jabari Parker. Dude from Auburn, Rockets.
Jabari Smith.
Smith. I don't know why I said Parker. I meant Smith.
Yeah, Jabari Parker. He's a has-been. Sorry.
It's cool. It's cool. I just for some reason Parker came out, but I meant Smith because I was wondering how his rating would be going into the game.
I don't know. He's probably the upper 70s or 80s. I'll have to take a look for you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, cool, man. Well, that looks cool. I like the 23 on there for 2023, obviously.
Yeah.
Any other things you like to talk about the game as far as improvements or anticipation for anything?
They brought back the Jordan Challenge, which was something on, I think, 2K11. So it's been a while since they've had that, where you basically try to recreate classic MJ moments, like try to score 63 points against the Celtics or try to score like 20-something points in the fourth quarter of a game. So I haven't played that version yet. In fact, as I said, I just played a game last night.
Yeah.
I was very mad at the demo, though. They made me play as the Warriors against the Celtics.
Oh, no.
And that just tore me up, just playing as Steph Curry, hitting threes in people's faces and stuff. And I was just like, when is this demo going to be over? Because like they made me play through this tutorial and demo while waiting for the game to install.
Yep.
And it took like 30 minutes. So I was like, it was torture.
They did that with me. I had to play an all Madden team because Madden just came out,
Yeah.
And I had to play as like all Madden in the 90s versus all Madden in the 80s or something like that. It was kind of cool though. But I'm sorry you had to play Steph Curry because I know that was especially against your C's, man.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they made Draymond way too good. I'm like, there's no way this guy's that good in real life. I was like scoring buckets easily with him. I'm like, this guy cannot do that.
Hell, I'm sorry you had to suffer, man. I would have helped you out if I could have, but
Yeah, but I'm interested in setting up my player. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with stretch 4 this year, like a big man that can block shots, get rebounds, and shoot threes.
Sweet, sounds good, man. I've been thinking about trying the Face of the Franchise thing for Madden. I liked a few years ago, but last year I wasn't into it, so I'm hoping that it's better this year. I haven't got into it, but maybe this weekend will change that. But sounds like you like your game, so that's great, man. I'm glad. I hope it works out, man.
Definitely. All right, let's get into the main event.
Let's do it.
Talking about our games. I guess I'll go first, just because even though I don't think I'll talk as much because mine's just one game as opposed to yours is a whole series. So my game's Sleeping Dogs, and it's an older game. It came out, I think, in 2012, but they recently remastered as of like 4 or 5 years ago. It was on PS4. They actually have a new version out on PS5.
Right.
And I love it because, as you can see from behind me, I really like kung fu movies.
Yeah.
And this is like living a kung fu movie, and it's a fun story because it's sort of like this classic Hong Kong film that Criterion's about to release called Infernal Affairs, where you're an undercover cop going undercover as a gangster.
Yeah.
And kind of like torn between the two worlds. You have to decide, should I show loyalty to these people or should I arrest these people? It's hard. It's a tough call sometimes.
So they give you the choice to do either one. Is that what you said?
You get different missions. You can either do cop missions or you can do triad missions. So sometimes you're breaking the law, sometimes you're fighting rival gangs, sometimes you're busting up the arresting people. So it's a lot of fun, and I
Sounds
like
like
it because you can learn new kung fu moves. You can learn various gunplay or gun fu moves where you can like
Mhm.
do weird stuff with your pistols and whenever you dive over cars and stuff. It's kind of like Grand Theft Auto in a way because you
Yeah.
can just it's a sandbox. You can just go around the
Mhm.
whole city,
Are there
and
like
that's
side missions and stuff you
oh
can
yeah,
do?
there's tons of side missions
Oh
like
yeah.
constantly.
Mhm.
You can do anything. You can go into like a karaoke bar, sing karaoke.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
that was my favorite thing about the game when I first started playing was
Mhm.
how well they actually recreated Hong Kong.
Mm.
Because I've been there and as soon as I got back, I started playing the game and I was like, they really nailed these streets as far as like
Nice.
the way they maneuver. And I started looking into like the production of the game. And yes, they went around Hong Kong with their cameras trying to figure out, okay, let's have this neighborhood, let's have this one.
Yeah.
So it's very authentic. The music's pretty fun.
Cool.
My favorite channels the '80s rock and roll channels because they got this awesome Queen song that comes on Dragon Attack,
Nice.
and I just like doing that. I like doing all the things that you can do. You can go on
Yeah.
missions. You can go to the underground fight league and just fight your way to the top. You can
Now, can you
just
upgrade stuff? Like, do you upgrade?
yeah, you level up your fighting
Oh, that's cool.
skills, but
That's
also you can get depending on whether you become a better cop or a better triad, you get
mhm.
different skills for those. So you really need to work on both.
Mm. So, have you been both? Have you been the triad and the cop?
Yeah, I just did kind of the balanced way.
Yeah.
I lead towards a cop at times, but then I
Mhm.
realized I'm doing too many cop missions. I need to start doing some triad missions. So I
Right.
just try to balance it out because you don't want your guy to get too good. You don't want him to get too bad.
Right. Does he have any like support system? Like anybody he works with, partner, or anything like that?
Kind of. There's a bunch of like cops and stuff that give you missions. There's
Mhm.
actually it was your friend from childhood is the guy that gets you into
Cool.
the gang,
Yeah.
and you actually have a few girlfriends and stuff throughout the game.
Nice.
So definitely a few people interact with. It's not like just you in the world by yourself.
So, like, what happens if you die? Do you have to like start all over, or what
Yeah,
happens?
well, it's sort of like a Grand Theft Auto thing.
Okay.
You
You just
just end up in the hospital or
I
back
got
at your hotel or not your
you.
hotel,
Okay.
your apartment or something.
Okay. Are there like ways you can heal yourself or stuff?
Yeah, there's these random things around. You can also eat food and drink sodas and all stuff.
Well, that works.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun. Is there anything as far as the gameplay that you dislike? Any negatives towards like controls or anything?
I would say if you don't have your fighting skills leveled up, you can get into some pretty rough,
Yeah.
annoying things. Like
Yeah.
there's this one mission where you have to go infiltrate like a Shaolin temple,
Nice.
and these Shaolin monks will just kick your butt if you get swarmed by them. So
Mm.
you really have to like fight them one on one. Don't fight like four at a time, which makes sense. But sometimes you have to do some
Yeah.
retreat, go get in one area.
Yeah.
And you have to be smart. You have to use your environment, as you saw in the trailer.
Right.
You have to like smash people into stuff.
Hmm.
You have to throw them off ledges, do whatever it takes to kind of whittle the numbers down so you can fight one on one.
Cool. Sounds like a really cool game. What was it called again? What's the name of it?
Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah.
And is so you said it's only one game? There's not like a sequel or anything?
No, there was a sequel in the works, but I
Hmm.
mean, I guess it's kind of a miracle they had this game because it was it was another game,
Yeah.
and that company went out of business,
Mm,
and Square Enix took it over and basically finished the production on it and
gotcha.
put it out to sell, and it ended up being a bigger hit than they expected,
Mm,
but they were just like not enough to really follow up on. But
okay.
here's for hoping. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know. Well, I mean, that trailer definitely shows us a lot of cool stuff. It made me interested. So who knows? I might jump on it at some point and
Yeah,
see how it is.
last time I saw it was on PlayStation Network for like $5.
Shoot, that's what I'm talking about, man.
Mhm.
Sounds good. I love a good game. Like, it doesn't have to have a great story, but that definitely helps. It kind of keeps you invested. You like the characters, so you want to, keep playing, keep making them as good as you can. So that sounds up my alley pretty good, man. So that's cool.
Yeah, I think you'll
Awesome.
like it.
Awesome, man. Well, as I said, I've been playing the Uncharted games, and man, I'm telling you, I don't know what happened to me these last couple of years, but I've just been so dedicated to these games, especially just because of the stories. Like I said, I love a good story, and I don't know. There's a lot of like Indiana Jones type stuff in these games. You can
Mhm.
collect treasures, as you know. You play. Did you play all of the games? Have you played all four?
I think I've just played a little bit of 2 with you,
Okay.
but
Now
I definitely got that Indiana Jones vibe out of it.
yeah, I don't know if you remember this, but actually got the third one with my PS3 that I got when I was still in Birmingham. I think you were with me when I bought that,
Yeah.
and I played it off and on, but I was not dedicated like I am now. And so a few years ago, they were on sale. The 3-pack were on sale for the PS4, and so I got it. And man, I'm telling you, like the first one is a good intro just to show you how kind of the game is, but they definitely up the ante in the second one. The second one has a really good story. It has a really good opening, like one of the best openings. You're like dangled in a train on the side of a mountain, and that's how it
Man,
opens. It's like
that's
one of the,
crazy.
it is insane, and it just looks amazing.
It's
I
like a
mean, just
James
the
Bond opening or
yeah,
something.
exactly what it is. And they flash back to it too. So like you like start out there, and then they show you a scene, and then he says something like you said in the trailer, like how bad can it get? And then you're dangling in the train, and you almost fall off the mountain 2 or 3 times. I mean, it's just insane. Like there's no way they'd be able to shoot that in real life. Some of the shots they show on there, because it's just like he's literally dangling off a train off the side of a mountain.
Man, I
It's
mean,
pretty.
I could see Jackie Chan trying that back in his younger days, but
Yeah.
yeah, probably pretty dangerous thing to do. But don't tell Tom Cruise he might try it.
That's yeah, right. But the third one, and of course, is the one that I had originally. Now, the story goes that this was the time when Naughty Dog split to do, of course, The Last of Us, and
Mm,
so they kind of had a B team for the third game. I think the third game has a really strong opening, and I'm really invested from the beginning. But
mhm.
then it's like halfway through the game, it just kind of the story's not as good, and the game just kind of goes a little longer than it should have. I think that's just my opinion. I think it's a
Yeah,
good. I think it's a good game. I think it's a good story, but it probably goes on about 30 more minutes or to an hour maybe than it should have. And that's my one negative, big negative there.
yeah.
So
I hate when movies do that, where you're just like, oh, here's the climax, and then you're
yeah,
like, oh, it's still got 40 minutes left.
yeah, exactly. And the thing is, it's almost like they just kind of were like, well, this is too short, so let's cram a bunch of stuff here at the end that have
Hmm.
nothing to do with the original story, and you're just kind of like wasting time there. It was a little bit disheartening, but I got through it because I really wanted to play the fourth game because I heard a lot of good stuff about the fourth game, and the fourth game is to me, it's the best game. I
Yeah.
think it looks really good, and it has a awesome cameo, dude. I don't know if you know about this, but spoiler alert, by the way. So if you guys don't want to know, um, at the beginning of the game, he's married to the girl that he's been with in the last couple of games, and they're sitting at their house, and they have a PlayStation 1. It's the most meta thing I've ever seen. It's a
Mm.
PlayStation 1, and you play as Nathan Drake playing a PlayStation 1 Crash Bandicoot.
What? I guess it's Naughty Dog. Yeah,
Yeah,
makes
because
sense.
Naughty Dog came up with that game,
Yeah.
and he has to she has to like teach him how to play. And I actually had never played Crash Bandicoot, at least not since the little demo disc from the first PlayStation. Oh man, remember those days, dude? With all
Yeah,
those
man.
demos, man. But yeah, I about freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh! And it's Crash Bandicoot, is just like the real game, so
Hmm.
it's pretty funny.
That
But
is funny.
you play with of course, Nathan, and his brother is in this game. They don't mention him in any of the three games, but then he just kind of shows up in the fourth one, and he's
Hmm.
voiced excellently by Troy Baker, who's done a lot of video game work, Batman in the Telltale games, and a couple other things. But yeah, they kind of go on a mission together, and then of course Sully shows up, and but it's a very good story. I think it's a really really strong ending. I know a lot of people kind of was leery about it, but I saw a lot of good reviews on the fourth one, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it, and yeah, it was my favorite. It just had a really cool story. It looks amazing. I mean, it's a few years older than the other games, and you can tell, like, they have detailed faces and all this stuff, and they even make Drake look older. He's got some gray in his hair now, and it's a really 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 good game. So that's the series in a nutshell.
Sounds pretty cool. What do you think? Like, I know you were obsessed with it. You just kept playing it every time you got off work.
Yeah.
What kept bringing you back? Why did you keep putting it in and say, "This is the game I'm playing"?
Because, well, especially the fourth game, the story. Like I said, I just wanted to see where the story's going, and you have to play the game to get to the end of the story and to get to the next part. And so that was it. And the game controls were updated a lot in the fourth game. They took a lot of the controls from the Last of Us game and put it in to the Uncharted games. And I'm telling you, that made a big difference, especially with the gunplay and everything like that.
Yeah.
Which I didn't have a huge problem with the gunplay on the first three. I know some people did. I didn't really. Granted, yeah, I put the aim assist on, but still, I mean, I didn't have a big deal with it. But I do think that they improved those controls. And in particular, the story was really good in this one. And there's actually a spin-off story from the fourth one. It's called Lost Legacy. And I've actually downloaded that. I've not played that yet, so I can't say anything about it. But you actually play as one of the side characters named Chloe, I believe is her name.
Yeah.
And she has her own kind of little mission. So I'm really interested to see that. Maybe I'll play that this weekend or something and give you guys an update on it. But I've heard it's pretty fun, but that's all I've heard about it. But yeah, I mean, just basically the story, the gameplay, and just wanting to see what happens next. Because with these games, like a Bond movie or anything else, you never know what's going to happen next. So that's what definitely kept me interested in playing, over and over again for hours at a time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty good music, pretty good sound effects, and all that stuff.
The scores are just really good. I mean, that's the thing about all the games you can't diss is the score. I mean, right from the beginning. I mean, it's I'm not gonna say it's like John Williams-esque, but it's up there. It's very close. I think they probably listened to some John Williams because it's got a lot of good, and it's got a good mix of instruments too. So like based on where you're at, he adds different instrumentations, and I really like that as a musician myself. So yeah, that's definitely when you get your earphones in there and that score goes on, it's just like, wow, that sounds really really good. So they really updated that by the fourth game too. That's another thing that I think they did really well, is they took something great as the score from the first three and just elevated it unbelievably in the fourth one.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess the last thing is so the gameplay is a mixture of action, some gunplay elements. Do you have to drive vehicles or anything like that?
Yeah, in this one specifically, or in the fourth one specifically, you do drive a boat, you drive a Jeep. Let's see what else. I think there's another off-road vehicle of some kind. What?
Is it sort of like sandboxy, or is it just you have to drive on this track, go to this place, or?
You can drive around certain places. It depends on if you're getting chased. If you're not getting chased, you can do a little bit of sandbox. One other thing they did for the fourth game, they did in the other games, but I think they did an upgrade too, is there are some puzzles in this fourth game that took forever to figure out. They're really really tough, and normally that would frustrate me, but I'm so invested into the game that I had to figure it out. So I remember spending 2 hours on one puzzle one time just to figure it out because it was taking forever. So like I said, there's a lot we were mentioning on your game. There's a lot of side stuff in those games that you can do. Not so much missions necessarily, but stuff to collect, some puzzles, and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had it on my list for a long time to play them.
Yep.
Maybe one day get around to it. I guess I'll find the remastered edition if I ever see it like on sale. Just
yeah, man.
check it out, get it, because it seems like a pretty good set to take out.
Yeah, I mean the games, like I said, they just get better and better. The third one does drop off a little bit, but I think as a whole, all four of the games really have. I mean, if you're into like the Indiana Jones, James Bond type stuff, like that you and I have been our whole life, I think you'll get a lot of enjoyment out. I know I have, and I'm really interested now in these Assassin's Creed games. I didn't play the first one. I haven't found the first one, so I just started on the second one of that one, played through it. Like you said, I love playing through the Renaissance. I thought that was really cool, and having a good time with the Revolutionary War. And I'm only like a little bit into that third one, so maybe we can talk about those games at some point.
Maybe. I got to ask you about the ugly whatever in the room, the elephant in the room.
Okay.
What about the Uncharted film? What do you think about that?
Oh, man. I knew you were going to ask me about that. Okay, so at first I was like, I'm not going to watch it. I've heard it's terrible. It's bad. I'm just going to ignore it. Like it doesn't even exist. Well, you know how you do. You're sitting there one day and I'm on Netflix, and I see it and I'm like, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe I can find some kind of enjoyment out of it. I mean,
it's the last words.
I know. I gave it a good 30, 40 minutes. Like I didn't just go, oh, credits, bad. No, I tried to white knuckle it for about 30 or 40 minutes. And I was like, this sucks. I mean, it's like, and it's not necessarily because it's, Spider-Man and what's his name, but like, just the story sucked too. Like the writing was terrible. Their conversations were not as good as, I mean, like they're better movies in the games than what I saw in this movie. Like I was very disappointed. I mean,
that's kind of what I've heard is like anybody that watches the movie, they're like, man, I think I'd rather be playing the game right now.
Exactly.
It's a lot more compelling.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the point?
I mean, like I said, I gave it a good 30 or 40 minutes, so I didn't just jet out at the first thing. But like, man, I don't, and I'm sorry. I don't think Tom Holland is Nathan Drake. I'm not saying he can't play a Nathan Drake type character.
Yeah.
But Nathan Drake's a specific kind of person, and
he's too young.
Yeah, exactly. Tom Holland plays him too young, and he's just like a little kid. And I'm not just saying that because he's Spider-Man. I mean, yeah, he's an excellent Spider-Man. I could watch him in 10 more Spider-Man films. Fine, great, wonderful. But it fell really short. The movie did, and I was disappointed because I was like, maybe it's not that bad. Give it a chance. No, yeah. I'm telling you guys. I mean, and not throwing no shade to anybody specifically. It's just one of those things, man. They knew what they had. They knew what worked, and it was almost like they were like, we're just gonna bank that people know this and they're gonna like it just because it says Uncharted, and that just doesn't work. It just doesn't work like that.
Man, there's just way too much lazy filmmaking out there. There's like,
I'm telling you,
here's an IP. People will go see it.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't understand because these games are beloved for a reason, and the reason is A, good writing, B, good performances. I mean, Nolan North is really good. I mean, he's hilarious. He is he's definitely human. Like he's not playing a superhero. I think in his head he thinks he's a superhero, but he's definitely not. He just gets really lucky he doesn't die, like for real. I mean, so it's just the games are fun. They have really good stories, really compelling characters, and if you're just wanting to have a good time with a game series for that matter, I don't think you can get much better than Uncharted.
Awesome. We will definitely not be reviewing Uncharted on our SuperCaZt anytime soon.
No, so don't ask.
Yeah, but we will be releasing tomorrow. Batman Forever.
Oh, yeah.
I would be holding the Super Nintendo game right now, but I couldn't find it. It's somewhere in my house, hidden in a box. But we'll be talking about that. And we recorded it a couple weeks ago.
We did.
I've been finishing up editing tonight, probably. So look for that one.
Yep.
And also down the pipe, we have Rudy coming. We also have Lion King is our last big film of September before we get into the Halloween stuff. And I'm going to try to hammer out that schedule tonight or tomorrow just so we kind of know what we got going on the agenda.
Yeah, I'm really excited about October. I think we're going to have some fun. Of course, it is spooky season, so I'm looking forward to watching some spooky stuff. And yeah, so you guys stay tuned for that, man.
Definitely. And we'll have some more of these along the path.
Sure will.
Maybe have another game time in there. If not, we'll just get together and talk some stuff because that's what we like on the SuperCaZt. And any final words?
Dude, I just hope everybody has a good weekend. Had a busy week. I'm sure you have too. So looking forward to just kind of kicking back for a couple days, recharging the batteries, and going at it again, man.
Same here. So thanks for joining us. We'll catch you guys next time.
Later.